What is confidence, and how important is the building of confidence in the role of mentoring a placement student? So the objectives of this session are that at the end of it you'll be able to define confidence and the difference between self-esteem and self-efficacy. Evaluate the relationship between state and confidence and assess how to mentor to build confidence. Here's an exercise to start you thinking about confidence. Write down why you think confidence is something the mentor should consider in their mentoring. And write down how you would define confidence. Much of what follows in this presentation is based on the work of Carol Craig at the Centre for Confidence and Wellbeing. She points out that confidence comes from two central ideas. Firstly, that confidence is about being certain of your own abilities. And secondly, that confidence is about having trust in people, plans, or the future. There are two terms that are important to consider when thinking about confidence. These are self-esteem and self-efficacy. The term self-esteem is often used, and Rosenberg defined it as the individual's positive and/or negative attitudes towards the self. So it's to do with how we evaluate ourselves and our feelings of self-worth. Craig's research highlights how the movement towards raising self-esteem in young people is undermining their ability to live happy and successful lives. It's built on the premise that we should never do anything that will upset or make the young person unhappy because it may affect their self-esteem. Craig's research shows that this approach is building a generation of people who are unable to accept criticism in the workplace, who are unable to handle situations when they don't go the way they want them to, and who believe they have rights but no responsibilities. Self-efficacy, on the other hand, is people's judgments of their capabilities to organise and execute courses of action required to attain designated types of performances. It's about what a person believes about their ability to reach a goal. Bandura said that it was important to people to have high self-efficacy so that they keep trying and are resilient. Much is talked these days about building resilience into an organisation, and the same holds true for the people. Martin Seligman, director of the Positive Psychology Centre at the University of Pennsylvania, has studied optimism and pessimism. One of his findings is that the difference between those who are optimistic and those who are pessimistic is that optimists see problems as being transient and temporary and applying to just one context in their life. So, if they perceive they have a problem with their boss, they will say something like, "I'm having a bit of a dispute with my boss at work at the moment, but I'm sure I can find a way to solve it." Whereas a pessimist in the same situation may say something like, "My boss and I just can't ever get on, and it just proves how hopeless I am at dealing with those in authority." So the pessimist sees the problem as static and applying across all contexts. As confidence implies a high level of self-assurance, then it's likely that confidence is related to optimism, to the belief that things will turn out all right in the end. So on the basis of this, Craig says that confidence is created through self-efficacy and optimism. So the formula is as it is depicted on this slide. Self-efficacy plus optimism equals confidence. So bearing this in mind, write down what it is that you can do as a mentor to help your student have greater self-efficacy and to be more optimistic. What answers did you give? Here are some that you may have shared. First one is encouraging students to seek feedback and to learn from it. This is important for both self-efficacy and optimism, but particularly for self-efficacy. Part of the learning from a placement is for the student to be able to seek feedback for themselves, to be able to learn and move forward from it. One other important thing a mentor can do is to role model learning from feedback and accepting criticism as an opportunity for progress themselves. The nature of the mentor-student relationship is that the student will be consciously and unconsciously picking up ways of behaving from their mentor. So a large source of learning comes from role modelling. Next is for the mentor to use questions that will explore how the student can learn from the feedback and how the feedback helps them achieve their goals, which is vital to help the student find a robust and resilient strategy for handling feedback and using it positively. Then helping the student understand that a problem is an opportunity to learn and grow. This can be useful in helping the student to understand that they don't give up just because they've hit a problem, but that they see it as an opportunity to develop even further. You asking questions rather than telling helps the student to learn the process for problem solving easily. A model like the 5 C's model that we talked about in an earlier presentation helps students find a process that they can eventually take themselves through to solve problems. Keeping feedback at a behavioural level helps the student understand that the feedback is just about their behaviour in 1 or 2 situations, and hence helping them stay optimistic. Using opportunities to give positive feedback at a behavioural level about the achievement of goals. So as a mentor, it's vital to give feedback and to review with the student how they overcame problems to achieve the goal. All the presentations in this series have been put together to help the student build self-efficacy and optimism. So this helps to summarise the role of the mentor throughout the placement.